Okay, so, dear listeners, welcome to this week's edition of Magical Fun Time with me, Dr. Ergo Fitzbis.
And me, depressed of all.
And, woo. And I'd like to begin this week's broadcast with two thoughts, both related to Tom Cruise, the great actor and entertainer. Tom Cruise. First of all, Lottie, thinking back to Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, which we discussed from various perspectives recently. Don't you think it's a bit? You know, they talk about the 20 missing minutes of Eyes Wide Shut. Well, look at Eyes Wide Shut and think back to it. Don't you think it's a little bit weird that Tom Cruise, well regarded for doing all his own stunts, in Eyes Wide Shut, there are no stunts in the final cut? It would have livened it up a bit. A few backflips, some jumping off buildings.
You know, what the missing
20 minutes is
right.
Maybe
it's just all his stuff.
20 minutes of Stanley Kubrick directing Tom Cruise in his stunts. That's what's missing, the jumping onto a plane scene.
I mean, I nearly jumped onto that plane to go out to what's the
with Zampoli. Zampoli. And my second thought about Tom Cruise was this, because first of all, Lottie, don't you think it's a little bit weird that, being Tom Cruise, he never set up a company called Tom Cruise Cruises, right? A little bit weird.
Yeah.
But then I realised that's okay, because Tom Cruise is a Scientologist, and they've got their own cruise ship.
Oh yeah, they have,
haven't they?
Just like fashion TV.
Yeah, so you could call the Scientology cruise ship Tom Cruise Cruises, and they probably would. And the only reason they haven't, I suspect, is because it would make Beck really angry, because you can just tell he maybe gets a bit sore and competitive. And wouldn't you, with Tom Cruise in the room? And that led me to a third thought about Thomas Cruise. I wonder, is it his real name, Tom Cruise? I don't know. But it led me to another thought about Tom Cruise, which is, because he does all his own stunts.
Wow. All his own stunts.
Because he does all his own stunts, Tom Cruise really has to spend a lot of time keeping in shape, right? And you know, in the reason Tom Cruise films are so exciting is the way, you know, the faces that he pulls, and you know, it's kind of like his angry face when he pulls his teeth back, you know, he pulls his lips back over his teeth, shows his teeth a bit, and that was Tom Cruise going past. Shows his he's got a big car, shows his teeth a bit, you know, that face he does where he sort of goes like that. And well, to be a fly on the wall in Tom Cruise's gym, obviously he'll have his home gym.
I don't want to see him.
To be a fly on the wall in his gym.
I don't like.
Watching him do those Tom Cruise faces while he's hitting his punch bag.
I don't want to do that.
I would love to do that.
I went to the gym once, and it was mouldy, and there was like two guys, and it was there was a water dripping through the roof, and then it was just all very uncomfortable, so I never went back.
Yes, one of my three daughters once took up a subscription to the gym, which was got for her as a birthday present, and all her friends had a gym subscription, and so she thought she ought to have a gym subscription too. And she only went to the gym once because when she turned up at the gym, there was a male history teacher in hot pants and sweatbands, the whole shebang, jogging on the treadmill and saying, "Hey Tallulah, great to see you. How are you doing?" and so that wasn't great. And Tallulah did not return to the gym, and has since in adulthood. But those childhood visits to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of traumatic.
No.
Like
I mean, to me, that would be deeply traumatic, and I'm male. I can't imagine it as a female seeing your teacher in hot pants in the gym.
The last time I went swimming, there was a man in speedos, and he was sort of really kind of presenting his speedos with his hands.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see that a lot. I remember being at a swimming pool and ended up referring to this guy as Grandpa Package. It was not a pretty sight. It was not a pretty sight.
It's all a bit...
Yeah.
I just swim in my mind.
Yeah, I swim in my mind. I've never been that keen on the idea of the swimming pool for all the obvious reasons. You're swimming in other people's urine and so on. And people do that. They do urinate in the pool. And so, and I don't want to share. I've never even got into a hot tub with someone.
Oh, I did once. It wasn't...
Yeah, I spent a long...
birthday party.
I spent a long time...
That's what you're supposed to do when you're like 19, isn't it? Is hang out with...
Prosecco
with girls who hate your guts, but you
yeah.
don't ever say it in public.
So you did that?
Yeah, I was always trying to make friends with human females.
But I think
in England, it never really worked. They all did things like looked at the floor whenever I said anything.
Yeah.
It's really obvious
but
when
also,
somebody hates you. They really, you guys really need to stop thinking that you can hide it. It's very obvious.
You can't hide it.
It's really obvious. When you just look at the person's face, and if they're scowling, which they tend to do, and they look at you like they hate you, then that problem. I mean, we know. So,
yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm not sure. What was I talking about?
The thing is...
What was I talking about prior to that?
Swimming around.
Swimming. Oh yeah, the hot tub.
Yeah.
That some teenage females, or in a hot tub, or maybe even like a group of Women's Institute women in a hot tub. To me, that's much. There's there is a difference between men and women. I want to say males and females because it's a conduct based thing. So trans women that I know, you can just tell that they don't keep themselves in the same way that a big hairy disgusting man does, and I include trans women in this thing that a hot tub with women or females in it. A hot tub with women or female is okay. I don't think they should invite me into it because my hygiene is very good. I don't want to sit in the water. No, I don't like sitting in the water.
I don't want to be in the water. No. I remember
but men in the hot tub, man.
I looked in the stream once on the Isle of Wight, it was full of leeches, and then one of your other daughters went swimming and said that they came out the other day covered in leeches.
Yes.
I just there's things with sort of kind of spikes and that in the water.
Guys.
And do you know about the cymathoid isopod, which is it's a kind of like a woodlousey type thing. Oh, this is the second time I've talked about this on the radio actually. It's a fun fact from me, because I was really into deep sea parasites for a bit. I still am, but it was a real sort of teenage obsession. It crawls in the fish's mouth, eats the fish's tongue, this woodlouse thing, attaches to the fish's blood supply, and then they live in a sort of weird symbiotic relationship with each other. And there's pictures of fish on people's plates of when they've killed the fish and given it the bettings and they're going to eat it, and it's got this isopod in his mouth. So don't eat stuff from the sea. It's really really not good. Don't eat things from the sea. It's full of plastic and mercury.
I kind of think we shouldn't be in the sea.
I
think we shouldn't be in the rivers. I think the animals should, don't, especially men. What I basically mean by the men is, and why not to get in a hot tub. I just don't trust that the majority of heterosexual men wipe their bottoms properly. I just don't. I don't trust it.
I don't think we're allowed to say that on the radio.
It's just my opinion. That's
yeah,
fine.
I mean, their standards have really slipped, haven't they?
Yeah. There was one of those naked men in the shop the other day. You know when it gets hot in England, and
naked guy.
suddenly there's all these naked men walking
when
around
it gets hot
in little hot
England,
pants.
I get the umbrella out and I put on as much fabric as possible because I don't want to. The sun is trying to kill me. Yeah,
this naked man, he was as pink as a Stuart Semple pigment as well. He clearly should. He had blonde hair. He was not the kind of skin tone that really should be naked in the sunshine. And you could tell this naked man, who smelled really bad by this point as well, because he'd been sweating buckets and that lynx was not covering it up. I felt very bad for my dear friend who works in the shop, who's this lovely lady.
And she saw the same UFO as us. The same
she
one.
Did see.
Several years after
she saw a triangle UFO in Devon. Just the other day.
We saw it in Bristol.
But my friend in the shop, the lovely lady, she told me that she saw this was about a month ago in South Devon. Somewhere near Shipton Abbot, where we live, she saw hovering about 20 foot above a field of cows, a big, about 30-foot size triangle with a light on each corner, and her ontology was rather blown by it, her ontological viewpoint, and but she remains as lovely as ever, maybe even a bit lovelier.
It's well, and there was another person that we spoke to who saw the same thing, but in Devon on the moor, and we saw it in Bristol over a period of about 3 weeks, and talking to another big triangular boomerang V, well not boomerang, a V-shaped craft, and I don't know, I'm kind of bored of trying to pretend that like space isn't infinite and somebody's probably cracked managing to travel around, because obviously like sort of, there's a lot of science fiction things that speculate and hypothesize that sort of the Einstein-Rosen bridge is okay, and there's an idea, and that space-time is like a fabric, and some guy recently wrote a paper about like the idea.
Where's that confounded Einstein-Rosen bridge?
The idea of the beyond the realm of light, where we can pinpoint stuff. Then maybe stuff behaves like the absolute, and it's kind of out of time, and you need light with time. So I really think that that everything's sort of woozy, and we should probably stop ploughing lots of money into blowing up the planet. That's what I think.
I'll tell you, dear listeners, another spooky local story. That spooky local story from my friend in the shop happened a matter of weeks ago. I'm not sure the time scale of this next spooky local story, but another dear friend of mine who lives locally told me that one day they were driving on Dartmoor in very foggy circumstances, which is not, as you know, I suppose, uncommon on Dartmoor. The opening of the Hounds of the Hound of the Baskervilles, I can't remember it exactly, but it says if there's a more barren, foggy, horrible place on the face of the earth, it cannot be anywhere other than Dartmoor, which is an interesting perspective. I think it's rather wonderful, as do many other people Conan Doyle was maybe not so enchanting. But why was I talking about Dartmoor? Oh yes, I was talking about Dartmoor because this other wonderful friend of mine, there are many wonderful people live around here, there's also some real jerks, but many wonderful people, saw a policeman in the fog on a bicycle. The policeman wore a long helmet and wore a little cape. Didn't think anything of it. Thought, oh, it's a policeman. And then they got home and, of course, thought, well, wait a minute, policemen have not worn little capes and rode bicycles for a very long time indeed. Also, somebody I heard the people saying that they'd seen fairies up there, and you know, let's, rather than thinking that reality is like Peter Thiel and Richard Dickie Dawkins says it is, and that capitalism is this wonderful thing that's gonna, you know, neoliberal. It's all going to trickle down and set us free.
No,
and hard work is the answer. Work sets you free.
The only thing that trickles down is urine. So, like, stop letting them trickle down upon us.
Yeah, you don't want to be trickled on.
Nah. By
anyone. Don't get trickled on. Be the means of production. Be a river that runs the means of production and produce anything you want. You're growing a lot of stuff, aren't you, Lottie?
We don't produce anything, really, because, I don't know, food production is basically like, it grows in manure and soil, and I kind of don't think it should be as expensive.
We can make food, but we can always make art.
Say, you know, that's like,
and we can always...
being a gardener.
Yeah. But we must always make art. It is important. It is more important than anything, I think.
Just everyone needs to sort of
love art, beauty,
kind of not
and of course food.
For a bit, you know. Just
not killing for a bit. It'd be great.
Just sort of like take a breather from the suffering, and see what happens. It might be really nice. You remember during the pandemic. During the lockdown, like, all the dolphins came back into Venice, and so all the bears and the deer and everything came out of the woods. Oh God, have they stopped? Have they finally stopped? And then they didn't. But, you know, give it a go. It might be nice.
It'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? If
try not advocating for a violent society. Just for, I don't know, a week. Try it.
I don't get why violence seems to be the default. Because I don't think it's always been that way. If it had always been that way, then every single medieval village, everyone would have killed everyone.
Would be dead. Yeah,
the violent thing was always the aberrance. And the problem is we've created a society where the violent people rise to the top. And the peaceful people who just want to get on with life and each other and so on, get pushed to the bottom. Because in every institution, every organisation, I would expect even the highest ranking Avon ladies are the most aggressive ones.
Probably.
You know?
I mean, everybody...
Because but also that if you're living in a society which is based on the idea of selling, then by its nature, the aggressive one is going to rise to the top.
Well, I mean, I remember I used to do things at sort of school sports day because I was extremely uncomfortable with being made to be competitive, because I don't really like sport, as I'm sure you can probably guess.
I also just don't see the point in
somebody's got to lose, and then someone's going to win, and then either they're going to take that really badly,
and somewhere along the line,
they're going to be embarrassed.
Someone's going to get humiliated, and then also some people are gonna strut around pompously that they won.
And then the adults of the children will use it as a way of carrying out their own resentment towards each other. So, but I remember whenever I used to do sports day, I would always I can't participate in that kind of stuff. So I would make a point of deliberately losing or something. And everybody would always get extremely angry, that house system that they've got in schools. I remember once I lost deliberately, and they were screaming at me about how I'd let the house down, and all.
It's a bit well, I don't
want to do it anyway. So
all that house stuff is a bit like the Masons for school, isn't it? It's like little
I think it's
secret
introducing
societies.
people to the idea of political factions, and then if you look at something like the political system in this country, all of it operates by, well, some of it doesn't, but most of it operates by people saying we're not that person. So none of it actually posits any actual ideas. The kind of level of sort of vocabulary from most of the people in the public eye is that of aimed at primary school children. So I think it's all really sort of I don't know. I mean, really, do we have to give it any attention at this point? I mean, isn't it embarrassing? We're sort of we're watching all the stuff with the Flotilla, who we did a radio show for the other day, and a lot of them got, they all got kidnapped and beaten and what, I don't know, and they all got raped. So, and lots of people have said about that. And then Ben Gavir's standing around openly advocating for assaulting people as a political, as a political methodology, and what you're telling me though they're people who I vaguely know who, oh God forbid that they want to help children who are starving access some food. That's all they want to do, and then they were kidnapped in international waters, put on a makeshift prison boat, and tortured. So, what? I'm supposed to support that, am I? I'm not supporting that. I mean, that's a joke.
Our government, our media, our institutions,
saying that I'm going to support that. Of course I'm not. Don't insult me by saying thinking that it would even be a question that I would support that. As a person who's been sexually assaulted, subject to sexual violence more times than I can count, as in the entire society sets it up and is advocating for it. If, there's this case in the paper at the moment about this extremely lenient sentence of young Andrew Tate type thing. I don't really want to talk about it because it makes me... It brings up quite a lot of so you kind of realise what the entire society thinks of you. Really, I never got my chance to make a statement against the guy who, ruined my life, who killed a big part of me. That took me years to get over. I'm not over it, but it took me years to kind of even get to a point where I could have this conversation. If that's what, I wasn't even allowed to make a statement there. So why should I trust anything? What? I'm supposed to support other countries that do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, but also we live in a country now where it's become just very, very almost passé for the government to say we're not going to respect international law. That, since the days of Tony Blair, that has been normal.
I mean, they don't support domestic law either.
Yeah, but what I mean is international law is a standard to which everything needs to conform. Otherwise, you are going to have a problem. The basics of international law are things like the paradox of tolerance. Don't torture people, etc., etc.
Blow up the village.
If you live in a country where the lawmakers have rejected time and time again international law, then, in my opinion, as I said to another very nice shopkeeper friend of mine in the other shop here in Shipton, a young man with intense and fierce eyes, living, like many young people, in a state of, well, what fresh hell is this? Mm-hmm. How are we supposed to respond to a system where a Holocaust has been carried out and live streamed in 4K, and we also now know that the people in power are cannibal paedophiles, and we're supposed to just get on with it.
And who funds law enforcement? The people in power.
Yes.
So I would say that's the definition of a biased system.
We are seeing in front of us increasingly violent use of police authority. They murdered a Congolese man in Ireland.
That was security, wasn't it? It wasn't even so. Like, this is where we're at. Is people who are suspects,
but the reason
choked on the ground.
The reason I wanted to talk about all of this stuff, and like, maybe the reason that
some bread,
and maybe the reason that the police did not notice that the boy in Southampton had been stabbed, is because the police in this country are now being trained in extreme IDF techniques. A large amount of our policemen have fought in the Israeli Defense Forces. And I would say that if the police were dealing with the situation in a way that was not IDF-style-y, then maybe that boy would have been taken to hospital. Yeah. I think that's fair enough to say.
Well, I mean, I watched the body cam footage, and it just, I don't know what to think. It's all no one noticed that he'd been. I don't really want to talk about it because I like, as in, I don't want to talk about it because I haven't looked at the news this week really, so I don't know.
But anyway, the point that I wanted to make about it is that it is being used as a left-wing, right-wing thing. And I have seen this whole thing, and it's really, this is very dark, that on the internet, lots of white people are doing videos of them taking the knee now. And it's for the death of this boy. And so, like repurposing
it's just
that's happening now.
Like,
that's
sorry,
happening
like,
now, and the reason
this is like
the reason I wanted to say this,
thing.
the reason I wanted to say this, is because what needs to be called into question here has nothing to do with left wing, right wing, racism, or anything like that. It has to do with the police using Israeli techniques. It is a fact that Israeli techniques have been brought into the police force. This is documented. The police need to not respond to people violently. This is not normal. The police are not supposed to, as a group, pin a person down. The police are not supposed to hit people. That's what happens in fascist countries. That's what happens.
That's what happened in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, but it isn't what is supposed to happen.
No, it's not what's supposed to happen. Well, I don't know. My feelings on it are, I don't think that the police force is really fit for purpose.
No, the police force is not fit for purpose.
I mean, I think
we know that 99% of rapes go unprosecuted.
Yeah, I mean, my case,
which again reflects IDF in the police force.
Was they took lots of evidence. I had, there were photos of injuries. Like, I got beaten up, and I had to go and have all the forensics done on New Year's Eve while I could hear everyone partying. It was a very nice experience. They turned up in a stab vest on the Isle of Wight to take my statement. They initially, because I didn't know what happened, I was having like a sort of trauma meltdown. I started having seizures after that. What else happened? I didn't know what was happening to my sort of PTSD. I'd never had a PTSD. And then they told me initially when I reported it on the island that because it happened in London, it wasn't in their jurisdiction. Right, what? So if someone sees like a murder, somewhere and then they're getting the train. What does the police force go, oh no, it happened in Staines, so we're not interested. And the police initially told me that I should make a complaint against them. Like the London office told me that they would support me with that. But, you know, doing admin after you've just been assaulted is pretty difficult. And then I was homeless. And then it turned out that the unit that I'd reported it to got done for basically lying about all the stuff. Because did you know that they won't prosecute something if they don't think that it's going to win, if they think that there's like not enough evidence. They only actually refer stuff to the CPS if they think it's in the public interest. So what is not in the public interest to do that? It's like, you know, I was like, and it ruined my life. So that's not in the public interest, is it? And then it turns out that the Sapphire unit had made up all these things because they couldn't be bothered or because somebody's got an agenda. You can look it up if you want. Everything I'm saying is the truth, and I never got any justice, and I get penalised now. I get treated like utter dirt by various government groups because, like, I'm not like what good little capitalist citizen. So, like, well, because I'm disabled, partly because of how a lot of men have treated me, and partly, well, not just men, but you know, like in the way that usually happens to women. Like, you know, like my entire life was sort of like dug out and cauterized, and the guy's just running around doing whatever he wants. He's probably done it to loads of other people. You know, this man had death, killer in his eyes. You recognise that look if you're somebody who has to be around dodgy people a lot and you are a person like me.
Yes, we live in a society
I don't really
has
think I have to say anything about supporting the government here. Like, really, I mean, really, I feel like I sort of like a kind of responsibility sort of to talk about it, because I'm now at the point where I can, you know, as I talk about this, I am shaking. But well, like Alan Davies, he's been doing something about his horrible things that have happened to him in his show, and he gets PTSD on stage, and I read a thing about it the other day that he talked about it, and it's like, why do we have to live like this? You know what I mean? Why are we all being treated like this? Why have so many people I know been through similar sort of things, and then what, we get told that we're weak, and like, oh, you're not performing being a good little capitalist citizen well enough, and it's just like, really, like, you know, it's bad enough to go through the thing in the first place, but then what, be constantly shouted at, and like, and oh yeah, all this stuff with like the right wing going, oh yeah, we're defending our women. Oh yeah, right, every bloke that's ever like attacked me has been a white English guy, so you know what I mean, and it's been a lot of guys, a lot of people have gone for me.
Do we really believe that Tommy Robinson cares about women?
Oh my god, Tommy Robinson, and he's got such a good understanding of like second and third wave feminist literature. He's really like the regular de Beauvoir scholar, isn't he? I mean, really, come on, give me a break. And all these people, the only reason that they actually get away with it is because they're facilitated with weapons and funding. And if you were actually without your weapons and your funding, and it was, you know, see how it would be then.
What annoys me the most is that, in fact, everybody knows that Tommy Robinson is talking rubbish.
Yeah, but
everybody knows that Israel is talking rubbish.
But you're all doing a little performance.
Yes.
Not all people will listen to this, but everybody is participating in a little sort of like semantic performance about like how to interact with the public space and stuff, and like, are we doing you know, oh, such and such said this online, and you're talking about like J.K. Rowling and like sort of like and stuff, and meanwhile people are being murdered, like, you know, en masse, and the planet's on fire. So I just sort of like, it doesn't really seem like anybody.
J.K. Rowling herself is like a CIA distraction.
It's just crazy. Like, why are you letting people distract you? Like, everyone I know who's over 30 and talking about Taylor Swift, I mean, you really should probably do something else.
Yeah. Taylor Swift, she does work hard for her money though, hey? Oh, yeah. As my father once screamed at me.
Face, to the extent that I could hear it upstairs.
Taylor Swift for the money! I've made a nice song about it on my wonderful new record, Smoking Baby, which is gonna come out at some point when I want it to. Yes, and the thing that I said to the cool boy in the other shop was that if, and I say this to you now, dear listeners, it's okay, we can go into the volcano.
I'll go into the hot tub of the underworld.
Oh yeah, and I can tell my hot tub story as well, which I forgot to tell. The reason that I'm saying this is that I think we seriously need to ask the question as a culture now that, post Gaza, post Epstein files,
sort of 90% of the biosphere being destroyed.
We know that we live in a culture where the lawmakers are lawless, where they're criminals. The lawmakers are criminals. So this is what I said to my friend, the boy who likes hip hop, because I asked him his music taste a long time ago. I'm very conversational with shopkeepers because I like to make people feel nice. So, or weirded out, depends on the person. So I said to him, if the lawmakers break every law and are criminals, then you, and also you, dear listener, are not, their laws don't apply to you anymore. Why, in what universe would you conform to laws made by people who consistently break them? This is not saying be unethical, because absolutely not. Be ethical, but just don't make any of your behaviour happen because of them. You don't have to go on the silly website. You don't have to go and click the form and say, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? I didn't want to. And anything they say, you can say, this government has facilitated a Holocaust for the last 3 years, and we all know about the Epstein files now. The laws of the land no longer apply. You are answerable to higher laws than the laws of a fascist system. Yeah. And if it isn't a fascist system, then answer me this: how did the entirety of the Western world sit by and let what has happened in the Gaza Strip? And don't you believe the statistics that you're being fed? They are finally saying now that 700,000 people have been starved and tortured and bombed to death in the Gaza Strip. This statistic was last year. This was 750,000
last year.
Let me put it this way, dear listener. There were 2.2 million people in the Gaza Strip, and there are now about 1.2.
Yeah, so where did everyone go?
Where did everybody go?
I mean, this is basic stuff. So, like, if anyone's going to try and... We had somebody making a vexatious complaint against us and trying to get us arrested.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I've never said anything other than be nice to people.
Don't kill people.
I've never said anything other than pacifist stuff.
Yeah.
My feelings are for humanity as a whole. So, like, I do not advocate violence. No. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm not... It's about, but as in I'm an individual. It's none of my business what other people are doing. Like, I've got my way to live, which is with like, I would prefer not to try and not be a murderer. Like, that's it, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Melville's story, Bartleby, about the humble clerk who starts saying, I would prefer not to. That's what you need to start doing now.
I mean,
I would prefer not to. No, I'm not doing that.
Just because I'm born here doesn't mean that I have to echo the kind
I'll do my taxes when I want. Don't care. But also, why should any of you people be giving any money that you earn to a system which kills children? That's what we live in.
I mean, I'll give people money to pick the bins up. I think that's a great idea. We all chip in and then deal with all the trash. That's, in theory, that's great, but it's not really how it happens, is it? But
well, in the lovely city of Bristol now, the lovely council, who it came out in the press. This is covered. The council send most of people's council tax in Bristol to the state of Israel.
The council also did that thing where, like,
and now they only collect the bins once a week.
What was the story?
Once a month. Sorry, once a month.
The metro mayor, like, as in the buses. I saw while we were living there that he'd spent like, I don't know.
I mean, you couldn't miss the metro mayor, could you?
Yeah, because there was a bus.
He was on the buses, emblazoned over the side. Was his dog on
there was a picture of him and his dog.
Yeah.
He'd spent
Bristol is this very weird performative place where everyone hates each other.
It's very strange.
And pretends to be lovely, but actually it's an extremely corrupt corner of England.
He spent loads of money getting the buses plastered with a picture of his face, and then a few months ago he got done for sort of Epstein-looking type of thing.
Epstein-looking type.
So you know what I mean? These are the people. I'm not like laughing at all. I think we live in. Of course, I'm not laughing. I mean, like, come on. But yeah, I
am laughing. I'm laughing at the absurdity of these.
The absurdity of it, of like,
men and.
Why are we being? Why are these guys in charge when they're like?
Yeah.
Violent.
What gives them this idea that they're elite in any way? That's what I want to know.
Isn't that
because they're not the elite, are they? The artists and the intellectuals are the elite, and always have been.
That guy basically attacked.
Elite doesn't mean you have loads of money. Elite means that you can do stuff other people can't do. I'm elite as they come, as is this diamond here. All of my friends are super elite. I would say Technician Chris, sat right there in the sound art studio, who has dedicated this vast swathe of his life to running an amazing, basically the only, one of the only institutions in the British Isles that I would willingly do any work for now. Chris is pretty damn elite. Everybody involved with sound art is the elite. We need to reframe all of these things. Some people who are rich because they are basically estate agents, violent estate agents, they're not elite, they're just rich. We need to reframe these things. And that's why I'm thinking that I am going to introduce a wonderful new organisation, and yes, it will come with a website. I'm thinking that it might be time, Lottie, to MFGA, make Freemasonry great again. Because, dear listener, you think of the Masons as being like the cool Masons we have now, the ones who like wear their business suits and their little aprons and do funny dances and do rituals, and
as in Windows, not the program.
Yeah, they do things like in the small village where they live, they take over all the local building projects. So anyway, the cool Masons, as you know, I'm obsessed with the cool Masons, and I run an amazing. No, my autistic friend, runs an amazing website.
I don't care.
All about the cool Masons. But I've had the idea, because the original idea of Freemasonry had nothing to do with a bunch of guys in business suits who are like butchers and estate agents and I don't know, all sorts of jobs. Sometimes progressive rock keyboardists. And the original idea of the original Freemasons were people like Isaac Newton and Mozart and I think Francis Bacon, or maybe that's too early. But anyway, like the original
Enlightenment.
Well, it was connected to the Enlightenment. It was Enlightenment.
I think they were trying to bring ritual into stuff as well.
Yeah.
Which we do shows, which is kind of that.
Yeah. Enlightenment, like clever people. The original Freemasonry had nothing to do with fat blokes in pinnies. It was clever people getting together to talk about the nature of the universe, how to make the world better, how to improve societies. So I propose, Lottie, that we set up the NU Masons, Freemasons, the new Freemasons.
I'm sort of already doing the
You're already rocking the new Freemasonry.
I'm doing the new metal Franciscans.
Well, that's true.
Because all the Franciscans eat meat now, apparently. Well, a lot of them.
We could
MGF.
No.
St. Francis, when he used to go to people's houses and someone gave him meat, he'd go, that's nice, and then he'd like palm it and feed it to the dog. That's probably why the wolf liked him.
Yeah. MFGA. Make Freemasonry great again. Join Ergo and Lottie in being a new Freemason. Going back to the ideals of Freemasonry. We're going to set up a new, not a secret society, but a society with secrets. And we're going to set up a new one of them. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, if you're trans, non-binary, doesn't matter what background you come. Of course, it's like the new Freemasons. It wouldn't just be guys, because I mean, who would want to sit in a room just full of guys?
I think we should call it
I would hate that.
In brackets Queens of the Stone Age as well.
Yeah, I like that.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I like that. So the new Freemasons, Chris, what do you think? Technician Chris, I've already said that you're elite. So are you going to join me and Lottie in the new Freemasons, making Freemasonry great again? And we can redefine, in that case, what the elite are.
Naughty.
The elite. Because lots of the cool Masons that we have now are they're in the elite. They get to do horrible things. Because for some reason, when you become elite, you want to go and do really, really awful things.
I kind of like sort of think groups are like maybe a problem because the thing is like this sort of like why do you have to get?
Oh, but the new Freemasons wouldn't be a group. It would be a loosely knit collective.
Oh, I go to a meeting.
You don't have to go to a meeting. You can just make radio shows. You chat occasionally online to grow the world of true Mason brotherhood and sisterhood, and in the mid-betweenyhood, and we can try and improve the world with the original ideals of Freemasonry, and
sort of like interdimensional masonry.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
how I've always felt about Mozart's music. Anyway, he makes a sort of interdimensional building.
Well, the Magic Flute is really interdimensional
it's like a
Freemasonry.
Made out of like crystals. And levers.
So well, could you find out the original ideals of Freemasonry?
That's what I was wondering.
The original ideals.
What does free mean?
I don't know. Does it mean self-employed?
What does Freemasonry really mean?
But, I mean, I'm sure that my daughter Autumn, who is probably, I think, listening, if I asked you, Autumn, to join us as a new Freemason, would you join? Well, the thing about being a new Freemason is you don't have to wear little aprons.
No, you can wear you can wear an apron if you want, if that's what you're into.
We might do funny handshakes, but just for fun, and none of it could be formalised.
Shaking hands.
Yeah, I hate all that.
I don't like that. Post sort of public health breakdown, I don't really want to touch anything.
And you'd end up in the new Freemasonry thing with like some white people wanting to do hip-hop handshakes with you, and every single time I've had to do a hip-hop handshake with a white person, I feel like just awful. I would feel awful if a black person tried to do a hip-hop handshake with me, just because I'd feel really embarrassed. But white people doing hip-hop handshakes with me, it's just not good. It's not on, even if they are a Mason, although a cool Mason has never tried to do a hip-hop handshake with me, so there's time to find out yet. So
the sort of thing comes from sort of like self-employed, sort of like free from the sort of institution or whatever, but I'm sort of thinking like maybe it should be repurposed to mean sort of like free, as in like free of dimensional boundaries, so you can make sort of these back to the absolute thing, like you can make these weird shapes, but in a free space of beyond the, in the realm of forms, or something. It should be like platonic.
If one of the tenets of the Freemasons is morality, then how does that fit in with all the baby eating and all that?
I don't think we're allowed. I think I have to bleep that bit.
No, I don't have to bleep it.
I don't know. I don't think
I'm only joking, Masons, because I think you're really cool.
I mean, I just
You know I think you're well cool. No, but isn't it even documented in the Epstein files that the Freemasons are connected with the baby eating? They're not a secret society, they're a society with secrets. But anyway, I'm going to set up the new... You know, you couldn't do this if we were live. I'm going to set up the cool new... The new, even cooler Masons. Would you like to join? Get in touch with me. My email address is ergofismes@gmail.com. If you're a real cool Mason who's really annoyed about stuff that I'm saying, get in touch, because I think it's really, really funny. And nothing would give me more joy than to be sort of attempted to be hunted down by the Masons. Again. We also know now, post-Epstein Files release, that many Hollywood celebrities like to eat babies, and many people in the music industry like to eat human meat. And I was talking to a Palestinian friend earlier about it, about all of this, the post-Epstein Files revelation, and frankly, the way that I wake up every single morning thinking that how is everybody continuing with their day-to-day life as if normal, and it seems to me that I am now living in a society which has accepted this reality. And that's also why I think it's okay to be almost, flippant about this subject.
Well, actually, I've just found out that legally it's okay, because I thought this, because it is not a centralised organisation, so we're not.
No,
they're not a
secret society.
Organisation legally, then technically we're not criticising it. So.
They're a society with secrets, and they don't have any like a sort of central hub.
Company's house perspective, there's never like a leader.
Oh, does that mean you can't look up their accounts?
Well, I think they've all got their own things.
Right.
Like McDonald's.
Yeah.
Franchising.
Oh, I see. The Masons.
I don't know.
Masons is a franchise model.
Well, I'm not.
Well, I mean, that's good, because
might be a pyramid scheme.
To set up my new NU.
That was a joke about the shape of the thing.
It was a very good one. To set up my NU Masons organisation, I'm going to need to know something about the day-to-day running of a business. Would you be interested, anyone out there, in running the finance of my amazing Nu-Freemasons organisation? What it consists of, being in the Nu-Freemasons, is basically one thing: being dedicated to trying to improve the world for everybody and everything in it. That is a very simple concept, very simple idea. It's not difficult to pursue or follow. So in my new Freemasons, you can wear whatever you want, as long as it's not like your conventional business suit and tie, because it wouldn't work well to mix up like original cool Masons with new Freemasons, because frankly I'm not sure the kind of demographics would get on. But we would communicate and sometimes meet, just like as friends meet. And like I said, we have a general idea that the point is to make the world better, and the way to start, I would say, is by conversation, by experiment, and through art. And that would be a core part of being in the new Freemasons. You wouldn't have to eat conventional Mason food, because cool Masons, they've got they've got very specific menus to be a Mason, and a lot of it, if you're the kind of animal like I am, you don't want to eat it, because it's like, old reliables like beef mince and dumplings and mashed potato, sausages and mashed potato, and sometimes a lamb shank and mashed potato, and there's a lot of mashed potato. And honestly, if you're like me, you can deal with a bit of mashed potato, but if there's like,
really.
if there's a little bit, you can kind of go, oh, okay, it would be better if this potato was in some sort of solid form. It seems a shame to ruin the potato. Yeah, you can do that.
That's nice.
Hey, that's a nice idea. I'm gonna have to do that. I've never done that before. Made a nice little fritter, but I have frittered away quite a lot of time on wonderful things. I suppose it's not frittering. No, your society would consider it frittering.
Times.
To your society, to the human society, I have frittered and frittered and frittered, but I don't think I've frittered anything.
I don't think
our society does not value art.
Well, maybe I have frittered. I listened to a lot of people's sort of lying and thought it was real.
But is it frittering if you're not aware that you're doing the frittering?
I don't know. It's kind of.
That's more being frittered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing that we reached this from mashed potato. I'm impressed. See, time is not linear. Neither is subject matter, dear listeners.
I think there's a sort of kind of recursive backwards and forwards thing.
Yeah, exactly. Hence, déjà vu. And
Leibniz and Newton.
Yeah, Masons. Was Leibniz a cool Mason?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Let's find out. We know Newton was a cool Mason.
Was he? Well, maybe Leibniz was as well. Like, they were competitive with
Leibniz.
each other. They just didn't realise how much they had in common.
Was he a Mason?
And their love for each other.
Oh, it did that thing where you type it in.
They recognised each other's themselves in the other one. Like Stravinsky and Schoenberg.
It's made me type it 3 times. Was Leibniz a Mason?
Probably.
He was not a Freemason.
But Newton was.
Oh my goodness.
Did he have beef with them?
Would you like to know something?
Well, he was like, was he friends with Spinoza?
You aren't going to believe this. Leibniz, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, died in 1716. The Premier Grand Lodge of England which was the first cool Mason lodge, was established in 1717.
Wow. So what, do you think he was reincarnated as the lodge?
I think Leibniz was reincarnated as
that building. Well, he did have the whole monads thing, didn't he? Everything's everything.
You're not supposed to talk about people's genitals on the radio.
Yeah, well, it's everything and contained in the small little circular stuff, which is predicted what we currently have in physics, I think. It's quite sort of dense though, because it's like 1700s and then in German, and then you've got to kind of retranslate the German to the English. Not like and I don't understand the language of the heavy German idealism translated, but it's quite interesting.
Did you know, Lottie? Well, you did already know, because I believe it. There's an article about it on the Freemason fans website. But did you know? Well, you know that Buzz Aldrin is a famous Mason, right? Another famous Mason.
Oh wow, Freemasons in space.
Yeah, another famous.
There's a lot of them in space now. It's like Musk's sort of.
Oh, he's definitely a cool Mason. Or maybe he's not, because he tends not to get let into organisations, because he's an odd one. Yeah. But also, Shackleton, Sir Ernest Shackleton, Antarctic explorer, was also a cool Mason.
Oh, was he?
The question I want to ask is, how much, when they were on their respective trips to the extreme south and the moon. How much do you think they longed for the lodge?
Maybe there's one on the moon. We don't know.
There might be a lodge on the moon.
We never see the other side.
Do you know who else it says here on the internet was a famous cool Mason? Was Houdini.
Oh, wow.
Harry Houdini. And it says here that Mozart wrote several pieces specifically for his lodge.
Right.
I'm going to have to ask the internet.
Was that rude one? Was that for his lodge?
You can't say the name of that on the radio.
No, you can't say the name of it.
Which pieces did Mozart, I'm going to ask the internet, write for his lodge? Let's find out. And maybe we can have a little, the Wohltätigkeit, beneficence, and the neu gekronten Hoffnung, new crowned hope. That was for his home lodges in Vienna, and for sister lodges, he wrote Souverän Eintracht. He wrote a piece specifically for the elevation of candidates to the Fellowcraft degree, including scoring the elevation to Fellowcraft of his own father Leopold. He wrote Lied du Gesellenreise, song for the journeyman's travels. For an opening hymn for lodge meetings, he wrote Der fließet heut geliebte Bruder. To close formal lodge gatherings, he wrote Ihr unsere neuen Leiter. He wrote a choral cantata to honor Grandmaster Ignaz von Born of the True Concord Lodge, called Die More Freude, which means, would you like to know, Lottie? I think you really do want to know what Die More Freude means. That means the Mason's joy.
I bet they all sing it when they're out sort of like fitting double glazing.
I bet you they do.
Or like selling double glazing and then getting someone else to go and fit in, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure of the class demographic.
Grandmaster Mozart also wrote Kleine Freimaurer cantata. I think he was a grandmaster.
For real?
I think so.
So you can call him that?
Grandmaster Mozart.
Wow, that's amazing.
He wrote Kleine Freimaurer cantata, which means little Masonic cantata. He wrote a brief concluding vocal piece intended for the close of the lodge, which is K623A. The previous one was K623. See, the jackdaws are very interested in the Masonic ways. They wrote, Lest uns mit geschlungen Händen. He wrote a piece of Masonic funeral music for a lodge of sorrows, mourning the consecutive deaths of two lodge brothers.
Wow. He was a master.
He was a
Mason,
grandmaster,
so you can call him
Grandmaster Mozart.
Mason. Oh well, no, he wasn't a grandmaster, but
no,
he was a master.
He was a master. He also wrote a short woodwind piece, K411, called Adagios in F major and B flat major, which were likely utilised as solemn processional music. And literally, you can, it says to me here on the internet that that you can go on your Spotify thing, listeners, and you can get a playlist of Mozart's cool Mason music. So I am gonna go onto the YouTube now, dear listeners, and I'm going to search Mozart Masonic music. I'm not going to type cool Masonic music yet because they haven't come up with, I mean, that hasn't really hit the zeitgeist yet. But of course, it's only a matter of time because you'll have to differentiate between new Masons and cool Masons. Okay, well, straight away, I've found an astonishing list of Masonic music by Mozart. Let's have a little listen to "O Sacred Bond of Friendship, Loyal Broder," because we need to decide whether we're going to use this stuff in the new Masons. Okay, Lottie. While this is on, and listener, you can do this too. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine you're there in the lodge with your brothers. They're standing in two parallel lines in front of you, and they look wonderful in their wonderful gloves, their wonderful suits.
Like our guinea pig Fellini here. Like
yeah, he's got
Fellini.
lovely gloves.
Not
Can you picture
ours
him?
In a possessive, as in, you know, he's over there. He's our guy.
Can you see the floor, dear listeners, stretching out before you? The lovely floor of that lodge, and there's a lovely plump guy with a lovely round bottom standing at the end of the room in his little white gloves, and he's singing Mozart to you. Can you see it, dear listeners? I think there are birds flying around in the ceiling, in the rafters.
Are they Masons as well?
They are Masons, yeah. You can tell when a bird is a Mason because it's got the gloves on.
Well, like the jackdaw, no, sorry, the magpie, or like the
Magpies.
chickens with the little
They are
trousers.
definitely Masons. Some animals are cool Masons. Like Lottie mentioned, our guinea pig Fellini here, he is a Mason. I don't think Federico Fellini was a Freemason.
No, I doubt he was a Freemason.
No, let's just check though, because it's sometimes surprising, because Richard Pryor was a cool Mason, and he actually is really, was really cool. Fellini was not a filmmaker.
No, he was a filmmaker. He wasn't a Mason.
No, he wasn't a Mason. He was a filmmaker. He wasn't a Mason. My excuse is I haven't got my glasses on.
Not everyone cool is a Mason.
No, I mean, it's hard. It's a hard truth to accept that not everyone who's cool is a Freemason. Like Greta Thunberg, I think she's really, like, she's one of the, I mean, literally, it's really quite hard to out-cool Greta. She's cool as hell.
She's amazing.
But I'm fairly sure she's not, she hasn't got brothers in the fraternity.
But she does wear gloves sometimes.
She does sometimes wear gloves.
Because, you know, she's
What kind of
sensible.
gloves does she wear?
I might have all sorts.
Just have a quick look on the internet.
She went to sea, didn't she?
Oh yeah, let's have a look. Greta Thunberg.
Oh, she was probably wearing.
You know what though? She's perfect to be
waterproof ones
a
there.
new Freemason.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
She's a perfect
wait a
new
minute, I'm
Freemason.
already running the church, and I'd sort of canonised all these people.
Oh,
already,
yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh look here,
Yeah, she's wearing gloves there.
stylish kind of simple black gloves, like high up cool Masons. They wear black gloves. I don't know why, but they do. They do. My grandfather had his cool black Mason leather gloves, and when I used to live in a house that was about have I ever told you this? I used to live in a house that was about 5 doors down from the Mason Lodge. And that was when I had a neighbour who told me that I should be practicing my music in the Masonic Hall like everybody else. And every day, hang on, let's see what piece of... oh, this is Mozart's Masonic funeral music. This is music for dead cool Masons. So I dedicate this to the dead cool Mason...
that's interesting.
Mozart or something. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, cool
Gloves.
Mason gloves. In the new Freemasons, We won't be using leather gloves because
no,
it's a bit
you
gross.
don't want to.
I don't really want to wear
skin.
a cow.
I mean, like,
it's
really,
horrible.
you've got to stop like using sentient things' skin. It's a bit.
But I tell you what, I do like a fake leather glove.
Well, you can make a very similar material out of like apple, banana skins.
Oh
like,
yeah, but
trash.
also,
There's plenty of options.
there's a lot to be said for a material that I spent a few days in Barcelona staying in an old a place that had become an artist squat, but had been there a long time. But it was previously a car seat leather factory. You know, the fake leather that they make out of car seats. Now, I would wear the hell out of gloves made of car seat leather. And that, maybe if you want... Well, the cool thing about the Nu-Freemasons is you can wear whatever you want. But if you wear, like, gloves made of car seat leather, everyone's going to think, wow, that person is so cool.
Well, you know, we'll get all the cars will probably be repurposed soon.
But also...
Things that don't, like, you know...
If your gloves were made...
on burning fossil fuels.
But if your gloves were made of car seat leather, imagine how comfortable you would be if you sat on your hands. So if you'd like to join my new secret, or in fact I might call it a transparent society, but I'll say
it's like
we're not a transparent society, we're a society with transparency.
Right, yeah. But because like everything's sort of see-through.
Exactly. Everything is see-through. You've been
magic eye, not eye in whatever, some sort of right-wing iconography.
Yeah. Right-wing iconography. And the right-wing, what's vexing me at the moment is that the right-wing kind of people, the Tommy Robinson types. And if any of you Tommy Robinson kind of guys are listening, you think that you're sticking it to the man by doing this, but you're doing exactly what the man wants you to do by doing this. They're playing you. Don't you realise you could just have a nice time?
I don't think they do think they're sticking it to the man. I think it's a solely contrarian position.
Well, yeah, but contrarian to who?
To standards.
But there are no standards. The system...
Well, I mean, yeah.
The system
it's just doing the
now
obvious thing
is so immoral and so corrupt that being contrarian now would be like behaving like Jesus.
No, but the prior standards where we didn't think that massacring children was acceptable.
Yeah, do you remember those days, dear listener, when massacring children was like at least taboo?
You know, nobody's ever...
It wasn't something that was sometimes okay.
The reason why they teach you the story about the plagues in Egypt and the killing of all the children is that's supposed to elicit... That's like shocking.
Yeah,
the reason we've got that as a parable is because it's shocking. I remember I read Ridley Walker when I was about 10, and in the beginning of it, by Russell Hoban, it's a great science fiction book. Not like how you think science fiction. It's about it's set in the future, and there's been a horrible thing that's destroyed our society, and they speak in this kind of like strange dialect that's like supposed to be way in the future, and at the beginning of it they're telling their sort of origin story around the campfire, and it's about people being in the bad times after the big bad accident, and a couple and their kid are in the starving in the woods. Some clever bloke comes along to show them how to cook make a fire, or like I don't know, it's supposed to be an analogy for gunpowder, I think. And then he says, "Oh, what's in it for me? I've helped you." And then they all eat the kid. And right. I remember reading that when I was 10, and being like really angry that I'd been recommended it because I found it so shocking. But because it's a parable, it's supposed to be, you're not supposed to think of it as normal. Like, we never used to, the very existence of the parables about how you shouldn't eat people or, like, kill loads of people, stories about things that are really bad exist as stories because the general consensus was that this was not how you run a society. But now people don't even raise an eyebrow when faced with this stuff, and they are actively horrible to people who don't like torture and murder.
Yeah, we talked to a shopping delivery man the other day about people's shifting tendency towards being just absolutely horrible to each other here in the West. And he concurred. And for that reason, he was deliberately happy to hold up any traffic, because people are just so uniformly awful in the West now. And it comes from this very weird sense of colonial entitlement.
If I said colonial at the same time. I think it's a sort of nationalistic envy, the Freud thing.
You're allowed to say penis.
I mean, England does sort of look like a floppy,
Penis.
a little bit, doesn't it? But it's, again, like, this whole Great Britain thing just means larger landmass, Brittany.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
So,
I think with all that, with all patriotism, all nationalism, at some point it became kind of the normal point of view, whereas back in the 90s,
wasn't.
If someone had started going Britain, people would have gone, whoa, you're weird. Yeah. And they used sort of during the Britpop era, and of course the Spice Girls, they used the image of the Union Jack, but it was being used in a slightly ironic way. It was being used to reference the 1960s, because Tony Blair for some reason thought that he was reinventing that.
Yeah, like the way it's used.
The way London tourist shops look.
Yeah, with like a bus.
I kind of love those kind of tourist shops in London.
Well, I don't think it wasn't supposed to be like nationalistic, like Jerry's
bookmarks.
Like Jerry Halliwell's dress was a tea towel that she grabbed before she went out. She didn't know what she was going to wear, and she was like, okay, I'll pin this on the front because it's like Britpop or whatever. So it wasn't like I don't know, like we went and stayed on the Spice Bus.
Yeah, we did. We stayed on the Spice Bus.
I made a film about the Spice Bus, and
it's
I can't really explain
Godardian kind of
it's on YouTube.
implications.
But I put on a version of the Jerry Halliwell dress because I had to, and
it was a spangly version.
It was a spangly version, and it still didn't really feel like it was a flag being used in the same way. But I still didn't really want to wear it because of everything.
But you did some lovely conceptual
we
dance,
sort of had to do it
you?
for the movie. That's the only time I've ever really been close to a flag. In order to,
we were covering a lot of Spice Girls at the time.
Yeah, as a sort of it was like because everyone was kind of getting this sort of nostalgic looking back because they all had to stay inside, and so I found a box of CDs that I bought through the 90s, and it was all like Shanice, Desiree,
there. All Saints was in there.
All Saints, Jerry Halliwell's solo album.
Yeah.
Was it both of them? It was just the one, I think. Emma Bunton.
It was just what? Did you have her solo album?
Did I only have one of her solo albums? I had one.
Emma Bunton?
No, I had Jerry Halliwell's one.
You definitely had Jerry Halliwell. But did you have Emma Bunton's solo
Yeah, that's
album?
in the box.
What was it called?
What
Emma
else?
Bunton's
Natalie
solo
Imbruglia. That was in there. All Saints, obviously. So, what was the point I was trying to make about the flag? Oh yeah, because we went onto the bus to do this film about the sort of repurposing the Spice Girls stuff. And even though I had a huge flag on the outside, I don't know. It makes me a bit at all. But in context of the Spice Girls, I think it's different. Let's go back to that.
What I am is what I am is what you are. All right.
Maybe maybe it just needs to be about the Spice Girls, like everything.
Yo, turn it up now, let the speakers explode. Two legends linked up, they stole the whole road. Mel C, Bryan Adams on the rise, crossing every border, putting fire in the skies. Back in the day when the charts ran wild, Mel C had the world going mile after mile. Bryan Adams already built a mountain of hits. Then fate said, watch this, and they locked in the mix. 1998, that's a spark, that's a flame. Mel C and Bryan Adams changed the game. When you're gone hit hard, everybody sang along. A power pop anthem that stayed forever strong. Hey, Mel C, Bryan Adams, hands in the air, let the whole crowd have it. Mel C, Bryan Adams, two icons linked and the whole world's clapping. Clap, clap, clapping. From spice power to rock star gold, Mel C and Bryan Adams never got old. Different lanes, same mission, same heart, same drive. Proof that a classic collaboration stays alive. Chemistry click, no gimmick, all skill. A timeless connection gives everybody chills. Radio waves, jukeboxes, clubs and cars. Mel C and Bryan Adams raise that bar. Yeah, every years later, people still know the tune, singing every word from night to afternoon. And when that chorus lands, man, it's all good. Even the food don't taste that good. Mel C, Bryan Adams, hands in the air, let the whole crowd have it. Mel C, Bryan Adams, two icons linked and the whole world's clapping. Mel C, Bryan Adams, from the UK to Canada, pure magic. Mel C, Bryan Adams, one legendary link, the fans went manic. From when you're gone to stages worldwide, Mel C and Bryan Adams still ride that vibe. A meeting of legends, a song so strong. Mel C and Bryan Adams forever on. Mel C, Bryan Adams, Mel C, Bryan Adams, Mel C, Bryan Adams. Everybody sing that song. Mel C, Bryan Adams, Mel C, Bryan Adams, Mel C, Bryan Adams. Everybody sing that song, yeah, yeah. Come on. Now let me hear you. Ain't many collabs got a legacy this deep. Mel C and Bryan Adams still got streets on repeat. Gold in the speakers, diamond in the sound. When Mel C and Bryan Adams hit, the whole place pounds. Hands on the ceiling, everybody lose control. That melody landed and it never let go. 20 plus years and it's still understood. Mel C and Bryan Adams, even the food don't taste that good. Flashback like 90s, watch the timeline spin. Mel C and Bryan Adams came through to win. One from the spice world, one rock royalty. Join forces, build a classic monumentally. Crowds went crazy when the chorus took flight. Radio blazing through the day and the night. From London to Vancouver, everybody knew the name. Mel C and Bryan Adams put a spark in the flame. No trends, no tricks, just a song that endured. Two superstar voices, the magic was pure. Decades roll by, but the fans sing along. Mel C and Bryan Adams, proving great music stays strong. Mel C, Bryan Adams, Mel C, Bryan Adams, Mel C, Bryan Adams. Everybody sing that song. Huh? What about that one? Now, would you like another reggae hit about another Spice Girls solo career? Which Spice Girls solo career would you like a reggae hit about, Lottie?
It's gotta be Jerry, hasn't it?
Okay, a lovely reggae hit.
I mean, after all we've been through, it's gotta be Jerry.
Yeah, about the solo career and life.
I've watched so many
and
documentaries about
of Jerry Halliwell. Please.
I mean, I got a message back from the new owners of the Spice Bus who really liked the film that we made about going and staying on the Spice Bus. So I feel like I'm a shareholder.
Yeah, you are. Well,
yeah.
it tells me that this one is stadium size. The artificial intelligence. Whoa! Stop that. The artificial intelligence has told me that it's stadium size, so we're going to need some stadium size reggae. But by coincidence, I mean, that one sounded really stadium size. It was just coming in. Yeah! Come on, let me hear. Lights are bright, hear the crowd yell loud. Jerry Halliwell, standing tall, standing proud. From Watford dreams to the top of the chart. Jerry Halliwell put that fire in her heart. She stabbed from the spotlight, the headlines flew. Everybody wondered, what would Jerry do? Then she came back stronger, kicked open the door. Jerry Halliwell said, yeah, watch me soar. Look at me, hit hard, let the whole world see. Jerry Halliwell living life fearlessly. No permission needed, no waiting in line. Jerry Halliwell knew her moment to shine. Women rise, women roll, kick down every single door. Jerry Halliwell, wave your hands and rebel. Sisters shine, own your power. This is our time, this is the hour. Jerry Halliwell. Ring that freedom bell, yeah. She found love, found purpose, found her own way. Got back up every time life made her sway. Ups and downs, heartbreak, joy and grace. Jerry Halliwell kept winning that race. Books on the shelf, new dreams to chase. Always reinventing, setting her pace. From music to writing, from stages to home. Jerry Halliwell proving you can build your own throne. Never just a headline, never just a name. Jerry Halliwell kept changing the game. Strong through the storms, standing her ground. Jerry Halliwell got the whole world loud. Hey, hey, women rise, women roar, kick down every single door. Jerry Halliwell, wave your hands and rebel, yeah. Sisters shine, own your power. This is our time, this is our hour. Jerry Halliwell, ring the freedom bell, yeah. Put your hands up high if you're chasing a dream. If they say you can't, show them what you mean. Every setback's fuel, every scar's a jewel. Jerry Halliwell taught us to rewrite the rules. From the Union Jack dress to a brand new page. Jerry Halliwell still owns the stage. A fighter, a mother, a star for real. Jerry Halliwell got that unstoppable feel. Jerry Halliwell, yeah, everybody sing it. Jerry Halliwell, let the whole world hear it. Hey, hey, women rise, women war. Jerry Halliwell, forevermore. Hey, hey, women rise, women roar. Jerry Halliwell, forevermore. Hey, hey, women rise, women war. Jerry Halliwell, forevermore. Yeah, Jerry Halliwell, forevermore. A fighter, a mother, a star for real. Women rise, women roar, kick down every single door. Wave your hands and rebel for Jerry Halliwell, yeah. Sisters shine, now own your power. This is our time, this is the hour. Ring that freedom bell for Jerry Halliwell. What about that one? Huh?
No, listen up, business owner.
Honestly, I'm starting to feel like the other Spice Girls are going to be starting to feel left out. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Come on. Turn it up loud, let the bass line boom. Mel B walking in and she's owning the room. After the Spice years, she was still on fire. Mel B climbing higher and higher, never stood still, never played it safe. Mel B brought the energy all over the place. TV screens lit up when she stepped in sight. Mel B got the crowd feeling good all night. Mel, new adventures, new chapters, new roads to run. Mel B kept moving, having fun. Big personality, life so loud. Mel B got love from every crowd. Mel B, hands up high, set your spirit free. Mel B, living life with energy. Mel B, Mel B. Hear the whole crowd sing. Yeah, Mel B, Mel B. Queen of everything, hey. She kept it feel, she kept it real. Mel B got that unstoppable feel. Always bringing humor, always bringing heart. Mel B made every moment a work of art. From red carpets bright to television fame, Mel B kept expanding her game, making people smile, making people cheer. Mel B shining year after year, strong and bold with a positive glow. Mel B always ready for the next big show. Through every season, through every scene, Mel B stayed powerful, proud and keen. Mel B, hands up high, set your spirit free. Mel B, living life with energy. Mel B, hear the whole crowd sing. Mel B, queen of everything. It's scary spice, yeah, everybody knows, but Mel B kept growing wherever she goes. New dreams, new victories, more to achieve. Mel B showing what it means to believe. So raise your voice till the roof flies away. Mel B energy all night and day. A fighter, a star, a force to behold. Mel B story still shining gold. Mel B, louder than the speakers be. Mel B, everybody count to 3. Now 1, 2, 3. Mel B, let the whole world see. Mel B, living life spectacularly. Come on, give it up for Mel B. Huh? What about that? One about Emma Bunton. Please.
I like that one that she did that went, what I am. It was nice.
Yep, I love that one. Okay. Now we're going to do Emma B. I wasn't expecting this to happen. Were you expecting this to happen?
I was never expecting anything. I never expect Spice Girls, and then it's all encompassing, isn't it?
I know.
Every time you think about them.
It happened.
They achieved so much. That was the last time I was truly happy with the state of things.
Yeah. Are you happy with the general reggae vibe?
I mean, it says love season.
It does.
We all love the Spice Girls.
Yeah, we do. What's this one called? Calm Tide. Oh no, that's an advertisement. Well, we can't play them on the community radio, so we stop it because it's awful. Yeah. Turn the lights up, let the whole room glow. Emma Bunton got the vibe, let everybody know. From baby Spice days to a journey her own, Emma Bunton built a kingdom, sat on that throne. Sweet like sunshine, cool as can be. Emma Bunton got the whole crowd feeling free. Radio waves and festival skies. Emma Bunton got those stars in her eyes. A voice full of warmth, a heart full of soul. Emma Bunton always making people feel whole. From stage to studio she carried the flame. Emma Bunton making magic again and again. 'Cause what I am, everybody sing it with your hands in the air. What I am, Emma Bunton energy everywhere. What I am, yeah, jump to the beat and shout it again. What I am, Emma Bunton, and we're loving it, friend. Hey, after the Spice Girls years, she found her own sound. Emma Bunton kept the good vibes all around. Albums and hits, melodies that shine. Emma Bunton making every moment divine. Found happiness, built a beautiful life. Love in her heart, joy by her side. Family and laughter, dreams coming true. Emma Bunton, showing what kindness can do. No drama needed, no need to pretend. Emma Bunton, always felt like a friend. A voice of the people that smiled and laughed, making great memories, building on the past. What I am, what I am. Everybody sing it with your hands in the air. What I am, what I am. Emma Bunton energy, yeah, everywhere. What I am, what I am. Yeah, jump to the beat and shout it again. What I am, what I am. Emma Bunton, and we're loving it. From the radio mic to the festival crowd. Emma Bunton always making people proud, spreading good vibes wherever she goes. Emma Bunton got that golden glow. Sing it loud from the front to the back. Emma Bunton, keeping everyone on track. Good times, bright days, love and fun. Emma Bunton, still getting it done. What I am, what I am. Everybody louder than before. What I am, what I am. You shake that ceiling, shake that floor. What I am, what I am. Let the whole world now understand. What I am, what I am. Emma Bunton, one of a kind. Yeah, yeah. Give it up for Emma Bunton. Emma Bunton. Huh? Wasn't that wonderful?
Oh, yeah.
Emma Bunton. Now there's one more.
I miss having the Spice Girls as a grounding influence in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, really. It was a wonderful time,
good time.
and it's time to have them back.
And then
But like you
9/11
say,
happened
they
and
could
it
do,
was just all
yeah,
over.
about how cool and sassy and stylish and wonderful, and her brands post Spice with amazing chorus. And you see, if you ask a superintelligence to make you something amazing, it's totally gonna do it. It's totally gonna do it. Okay, right, what we got there? Nostalgia rhythm. So we'll
Nostalgia for what?
I don't know.
For like
Rhythm, I don't know. Pre-generated,
music.
yes. Nostalgia for music played by people.
You can still do it if you want to. Like, nothing's stopping you.
No. Here we go. Yo, come on, take it. Yeah, I see those cameras flashing. Your spotlights flash when she walks in the room. Victoria Beckham got that effortless boom. Cool, composed, every move on point. Victoria Beckham got the whole world joined. From pop star days to a fashion queen. Victoria Beckham built a whole new scene. Sketching the future, setting the tone. Victoria Beckham made the runway her throne. Sharp as a diamond, smooth as silk. Turning ambition into gold from milk. Every collection, every design. Victoria Beckham making elegance shine. Phoebe, Phoebe, everybody stand up, let the whole crowd see. Phoebe, Phoebe, cooler than cool, that's a way to be. Victoria Beckham, hands up high, let the whole place slam. Hey, strut, strut, on that floor. Yeah, strut, strut, give us more. Yeah, strut, strut, feel that glam. Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham. After the Spice Year, she wrote her own page. Victoria Beckham stepped on a new stage, building a brand with vision and grace. Victoria Beckham put a mark on the place. clean-cut lines, confident, strong. Victoria Beckham proving they got it wrong. Every doubter watching as she climbed the hill. Victoria Beckham showing unstoppable will. From fashion houses to beauty and style, Victoria Beckham did it all with a smile, creating a world with polish and flair. Victoria Beckham got sophistication everywhere. Phoebe, Phoebe, everybody stand up, let the whole world see. Phoebe, Phoebe, cooler than cool, that's the way to be. Victoria Beckham, hands up high, let the whole place slam. Victoria Beckham, style icon, yes she absolutely can. Parachute fitted, confidence locked. When Victoria Beckham walks, the whole room stopped. Class and sass in a perfect blend. Victoria Beckham setting trends again. Elegant energy, fearless drive. Victoria Beckham keeping dreams alive. Build it with vision, build it with heart. Victoria Beckham turned business into art. Look good, feel good. Everybody sing if you know you should. Look good, feel good. Living life exactly like we knew we could. Victoria Beckham, let the whole crowd shout her name. Victoria Beckham, forever stylish, forever flame. Phoebe, 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 Phoebe. Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham, yeah. Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham. Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Victoria Beckham. Extra verse about how she's better than her husband.
Yeah.
That's what I was missing.
I mean, that's what everyone...
It's missing that.
I mean, it's what we're all thinking, isn't it, really? I mean, for some reason people think he's attractive.
I don't understand. I'm going to have to put it back for the third verse.
He's basically...
Let's go.
I mean, I like Yoko,
but
he's the Yoko Ono of the Spice Girls. But, I mean, Yoko is good, but...
Okay. They say power couple, yeah, we already know. But Victoria Beckham got her own kind of glow. While he's bending free kicks, she's building an empire. Victoria Beckham just keeps climbing higher. Fashion Week front row business unlocked. Victoria Beckham got the whole world shocked. Love to David, yeah, they're both first class. But Victoria Beckham got that extra sass. Runway queen style machine setting every trend. Victoria Beckham got the magic that don't end. When the crowd starts arguing who's the MVP, the fashion fans are yelling VP repeatedly. What's an MVP? MVP.
Master Vice President?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, rude girl Victoria Beckham stepping on the place. Oliver style and elegance and grace. Catwalk boss, every move set pace. Victoria Beckham run the fashion race. Big designer, everybody wanna know. When Victoria Beckham touch, watch the business grow. Fresh and clean from your head to your toe. Victoria Beckham got the confidence glow. Wheel up, pull up, bring it home again. Victoria Beckham set the standard them. London to Paris, everybody a shout. Victoria Beckham, what the hype about? Class and sass and the vibes never done. Victoria Beckham shine brighter than the sun. Runway general fashion #1. Victoria Beckham got the whole place fun. Phoebe, Phoebe, tell them they say the queen run the country. Phoebe, Phoebe, style show sharp and luxury. Booyaka! Victoria Beckham, booyaka! Everybody hail the madam. Phoebe, 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 Phoebe. Give it up, Victoria Beckham. Yeah, Victoria Beckham. So much cooler than David Beckham. Beckham. Huh? Amazing. Well, that was all 5 Spice Girls. You feel better now?
I do feel better now.
That was all 5 Spice Girls, and if we didn't live in times where they chose to ignore all the real artists, that would be known precisely as a bravura performance. Don't you agree? Bravura. Completely and utterly bravura. Now, as we head into the final 15 minutes of the show, I would suggest that you yourself, because anyone can do it. Anyone can be bravura. You're pretty bravura, aren't you?
I'm not really sure.
No, you're well bravura.
In this context.
It means, I'll tell you what it means, like all of those Spice Girls, all bravura in themselves. Sassy, elegant,
I'm still holding out for new material. It's going to happen.
Well, if you need new material, all you have to do now is ask your robot friend, and it can whip you up a cool rap about any subject that you want.
Well, they're gonna put that out as the next record. I think Jerry will get back on it.
Yeah, I think so.
Boring husband will let her do things again, and it'll all be great.
It's a really okay. Now this might be controversial. This might be controversial, but there is a phenomenon in our society which I would say is a genuine problem, and that is the boring husband or the boring boyfriend. There are lots and lots of cool women that I've met loads of them. Cool women who go out with the most boring men. Like, who talk about their bowels and I don't know, what else do they like to talk about apart from their bowels?
Well, I don't know, whatever it is that people are into. I can't. It's sort of. I see a lot of people's spirits being crushed by their partners. Yeah,
cool women. There's lots of non-boring people out there. Or you can also be gay.
Or you could just also not answer to anyone.
Yeah,
as well.
But I mean, a relationship isn't always about answering.
No, but I mean,
at least I hope this one isn't.
No, I mean, as in, a lot of people, just really sort of don't let someone kill your spirit.
Yeah, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone who you like. If you don't like them, then why are you hanging around with them? Why would anyone, this is insane to me, why would anyone spend time around people they dislike? Don't hang around with people you dislike. Hang around with people that you like. This person here, I like them.
And I like you.
I like them a lot. Maybe a little bit too much, but that's okay. That's okay. Got to tell you something. Do you know who else I like, Lottie? Them Suets over there.
I like them. I'm not entirely sure if they like each other. I think they like each other. They seem to brandish their posterior quite a lot in a sort of. It seems very confusing.
Yeah, it is. I've never brandished my posterior as a weapon of aggression.
They look like a snake. It's all very.
Although, if you think about it,
in the animal pagan world.
If you were in a supermarket, like, say, if I was in the supermarket and someone was trying to do that thing they do of, like, standing behind you, waiting for you to, aggressively trying to get you to stop looking in the thing so they can look. Imagine if I then just thrust my buttocks towards them. I think they might leave. Try it, dear listeners. If someone is bothering you in that very English way of, oh, there's someone who doesn't look like an extra from Clarkson's Farm, violently, you've got to make sure you don't be sexy with it, because we all know that there are sexy ways that you can push your bottom out, but watch some guinea pigs doing it, because when they do it, when the guinea pigs do this thing with their buttocks, I don't know what you think, it's not sexy at all.
No,
not sexy at all. So there are ways of making your buttocks protrude that are not sexy, and they are the kind of buttock protrusions that you should be making in the supermarket when an annoying, aggressive, bourgeois person stands behind you, expecting you to get out of the way for them because they are so amazing for being bourgeois.
That they don't want to say, "Excuse me, please."
Or they don't just want to wait a second until you've got what you want out of the fridge.
Being aggressive and
silent British aggression.
It's effectively that's what bureaucracy is, really, isn't it?
It is, and it's taken over the whole world. And we can excuse all kinds of things with bureaucracy now.
Yeah, we can.
So Lottie, tell me, is it true, or is it just an urban myth or something dangling from the grapevine that Victoria Posh Spice's boring boyfriend wouldn't let her do the Spice Girls reunion?
I think there's been some thing about how her shareholders as well think it would be bad for the business.
Bad for the brand.
And she wanted to do it, but
I mean, of course she wanted to do it, but the shareholders said no.
I think so.
Well, surely, if you're like Victoria Beckham, basically a goddess incarnate on Earth, you can do whatever the hell you like, but no.
Apparently not.
Power, it seems no power is real. I've been wondering about this a lot, dear listeners. You know, you buy your house, and then
don't own it.
You buy the house and you pay the mortgage every month, but the amount of money that the house costs is not realizable for the majority of people to ever pay off in their lives, especially considering the cost of groceries and so on now. And it seems to me that buying a house isn't really because if you bear in mind the way that like rental culture in Europe, it seems to me that buying a house isn't about any kind of tangible difference to your life in owning this property.
No, because there's
it's actually
leasehold, freehold thing
it's
well.
actually about saying to people, well, I own my house.
So that means that you can't shout at me.
Yeah.
It's basically
I think the English, more than any country, are obsessed with status. Much more so than the Americans, more so than any European.
But then also the only reason that anyone who wants to own a house is so that when they're renting, they don't get you get shouted at constantly if you're a renter.
I would say that's the reason why people who rent would love to own a house.
I mean,
but the majority of homeowners have probably never had to rent.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because there has been something going on with money being like inherited, and there's a larger disparity between the rich and the poor than ever before. 75% of people in the UK are technically, as you would say, bourgeois. They are
richer than Henry VIII.
Richer than Henry VIII, yes. And I
still
don't.
Can't guarantee for your poor family.
No, nobody can guarantee
for
their grandchildren.
God forbid anyone helps anyone.
Yeah, we shouldn't be. Oh no, we absolutely shouldn't be helping people get a leg up. We should be making sure that people feel oppressed and suffer, and only when they've done enough hard work for the state, suffering, can they maybe be allowed a leg up. I know there's probably some people listening who identify with this inherent new neoliberal Western greed system, which involves a sense of status through not helping people, or this idea that, well, such and such, my grandchild, they can work until they can afford a place to live. So in the meantime, yes, it's fine.
Or even though we basically live in hell,
homeless, and it seems to be fine.
No, that's just Lottie being paranoid. Apparently, no, none of the stuff that's happening is happening.
No,
nothing ever happens.
None of it's real. Did you know that today Israel agreed a ceasefire and then immediately bombed places. So we live in a farce.
Isn't it?
And as I said somewhere earlier in this program, if the lawmakers have broken the law to this extent, then why should you consider? I'm not saying break the law, but I'm saying that they've lost the moral authority to govern over you, to at all tell you what you should be doing, what you should be thinking, what you should be eating. Why should you trust anything that any of these institutions say? The National Health Service is being sold off to Palantir. The vast majority of deaths in Gaza and in Lebanon have been committed using equipment made by Palantir. And you're going to sit back and let that organisation take over the National Health Service, which is already, obviously under strife and pressure.
And Peter Thiel's like an end-timer.
Paedophile is an end-timer who, this is not conspiracy theory, this is documented, he goes around doing lectures about this stuff. He is trying to he's mad, right? He's mad. If he's not mad, then answer me this. Why is he going around doing lectures about the Antichrist? And that he personally is trying to bring about the apocalypse because he personally, Peter Thiel, is the only man in the world who can stop the apocalypse. We're selling the National Health Service to a company which is run by a psychopathic paedophile whose name is literally paedophile and anagramizes to the reptile, quite conveniently. Not that I think any aliens are involved in this. This is stupid, evil humans. And I would be genuinely surprised if there is a life form out there in the universe as stupid as your general human.
No, like stupidity is really from like a pathology. It's not, and evil is a pathology as well that comes from constant resource wars.
And I'm not including. Oh, this is going to be controversial. I'm not including neurodiverse people in that stupidity, because neurodiverse people are the people throughout history who have stood up screaming and saying this is ridiculous, this is wrong. Neurodiverse people never get listened to. Neurodiverse people get ostracised. Neurodiverse people get told they are insane and mad for speaking the objective truth about what's going on. Because why would you willingly be read into ideology? Ideology means contradicting objective reality, no matter
like
what
ideology.
Ideology.
And Peter Thiel is going around giving lectures on the Antichrist and stuff. He's saying that anyone who wants to save the planet, i.e. Greta Thunberg, is apparently an agent of Satan, which I would think is the other way around. It's funny
so.
It's funny with these people, isn't it, that if they ever talk about the idea of somebody trying to help someone, they say it's demonic.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very strange. What's
all
your
these demons trying to help people.
Yeah, I think they all basically really believe in the sort of. I have no idea.
There are
It's getting absurd.
I am not after the last 3 years. I can't define myself as atheist or even agnostic. It's obvious that the world is not only the stuff that we can see, and we have to hope at least that there are higher intelligences.
Oh, I mean, there's higher intelligences in the room. Higher intelligences than me, in the shape of, like, I don't know, birds and stuff like that. Yeah. Crows are far. I've just spent enough time with animals to know that they are better people than humans. And a lot more rational, cleverer. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. We will. Some people talk about the Anthropocene as something that's coming.
No,
people like paedophile and that other really stupid one, Elon Musk. They talk about that the Anthropocene is this thing that's coming. No, the Anthropocene is something that is coming to an end, because by logical reasoning it has to. You can't destroy the entire ecosystem of a planet and then not you know, in some way try and help what you've destroyed, repopulate the earth with its real inhabitants and live in a state of coexistence to them. We dream of the city where every building is covered in wisteria. You know, imagine, you know, when you come upon a house and it's covered in wisteria,
trees
how wonderful
everywhere.
that is. But there's no reason why every tower block shouldn't be completely covered in plant life, and then consequently would be covered in bird life, insect life, etc., etc. And people, humans, having to coexist with nature rather than destroying everything. Can you imagine? Well, also, I believe, as we speak, Benjamin Netanyahu might be on trial for corruption.
Oh, really?
Because, yeah, how exciting. Because we also live in a world which is so mad that if you're, like, meant to be going to court for corruption, you can kill loads of people and avoid going to court. Seems a little bit upside down, listeners. Hey, opposite land. You are not governed by a lawless system. A lawlessness cannot govern. So, enjoy your day, dear listeners. This is Sound Art Radio. I have been Dr. Ergo.
I'm depressed of all.
And
like the new Oracle of Delphi, which functionally I am, and other people should be getting into it as well, because we need a better political system. Go on, do it now.
yeah, we'll be back next week with more positive vibes.